Bill O'Neill, your number 4 seed. 2 for 2 on the day, trying to make it 3 for 3 as he is set to battle number 2 seed Tommy Jones next year in the semifinal match of the Pepsi Viper Championship as ESPN's coverage of the World Series of Bowling rolls on. Glad you're here with us. Rob Stone, soon to be inducted. Hall of Famer Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler joining you here this Sunday. Here's O'Neill getting ready to roll. Games of 244 and 242 already for O'Neill. 85-pin win in match number 1, a 33-pin victory in match number 2. Here's match number 3 versus Tommy Jones. That's how we start a match.
Looks like a little bit more ball speed, that deep inside line. Oil pattern's breaking down, players are moving in.
The number 2 player owns 13 PBA Tour titles with 2 majors. Former PBA Player of the Year from Simpsonville, South Carolina, TJ Tommy Jones.
TJ quietly made 3 TV shows last season, quietly because he made the last one, the Daido Japan Cup, and happened to win it. If he didn't include that win, it's kind of a subpar season stat-wise from Tommy Jones, even though he had a great average in points, but that win kind of skewed things. And a good start for TJ there. He's a guy a couple years ago, you and I both said, he may be your next player of the year again.
Right.
And a little hiccup maybe.
Yeah, remember though, he still has the highest winning percentage on television in the history of the PBA. Taking a look at his arsenal, and again, the Mission 2.0 may not be the strongest ball made by his manufacturer, but it's the strongest ball in the arsenal that he brought out today. As the lanes break down, he may shell down, go to something a little less aggressive. I think what we've seen in the past couple of years, Rob, is the propensity for Tommy Jones to get a little too firm, get a little too pumped up, get a little firm, and throw it right through the break point. And that's what it looks like he did on this shot. You see that ball just never made it back, leaving the 2-4-8. Not the easiest spare conversion, but Tommy Jones pretty good on multi-pin spares this week.
And there's another multi-spin conversion, so O'Neill clean through 2.
The whole way I thought I had that.
Rather, TJ clean through 2. O'Neill and Tommy Jones, both part of Team USA at the Men's World Championships back in August in Germany. I asked O'Neill about that event, and things that jumped out to his mind were that the guys played a lot of poker, and the amount of chocolate consumed by Chris Barnes and Tommy Jones. I don't know, apparently they were just motoring down the Twix and the Kit Kats.
Couldn't wait for Halloween, eh?
I came early in Germany. Stop. God bless him.
Jesus.
Nose.
That. Good God.
Haven't seen much of that from O'Neill today.
No, a little grabby on this shot at the bottom. Gets a little bit too much hand in it, and so watch the ball never pushes far enough to the right. Ends up right through the nose. No split, just the 3-6-10.
Back-to-back multi-pin spare conversions for both competitors. We're even through 2. Next week, it's the 3rd event of the World Series of Bowling. Well, the 2-handed finish winner, Oscar Palermo, will be there. Former Masters champ Sean Rash. Former PBA Players of the Year, Chris Barnes and Wes Malott. And your tournament leader, Scott Norton. First-time TV finalist in the number 1 seed spot. See that one next Sunday on ESPN at 1 Eastern, the Chameleon Championship from right here in Vegas. Whoa. Bill did not like it, walked away from it, likes the result. I get the feeling maybe a couple question marks for O'Neill early on, but a big strike there for Bill in the 3rd. And the conclusion of O'Neill. Jones when we return to Vegas. And welcome back to Las Vegas and our continuing coverage of the Pepsi Viper Championship. Bill O'Neill riding the wave of a three-bagger. Sits down. Here's Tommy Jones down 10, looking to match a three-bagger with O'Neal. So far, these guys have been absolutely identical. Strike, 7 spare, strike, strike. Oh, a late kick on the 10th. On the 10-pin, rather, and Jones, O'Neal, exactly identical through 5.
I watch this. Head pin's going to go to the sidewall, and he's looking for that. He's looking for the love from the messenger to come across and take it out. Oh, yeah. And you always get a hand slap when you roll that messenger over there into the 10. And
it's our first true messenger of the season.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I enjoy, I enjoy me a good messenger.
Nobody loves a good messenger more than Rob Stone.
So we're even here through 5. TJ, Tommy Jones, set to start the 6th. Split knee.
Really? Just went high on that lane. Right and that.
Remember, he went light. The very first shot he threw on this left lane, leaving the 2-4-8. This one here just never picks up getting down the lane, leaving the 2-8-10, and it couldn't have come at a worse time. This match was all tied up.
Takes care of the 2-8, not so much the 10, an open frame and an opening for Bill O'Neal. O'Neal, 4 strikes through 5 frames. Trying to complement a 3-bagger right now in the 6th frame. Got yourself an old-fashioned ham bone right there.
O'Neal starting to get a little cyborg-like. Just steps up and just keeps repeating shots. The expression never changes. Everything is just facing the 1-3 pocket, and it's just 10 back every shot.
How much has he changed from match 1, match 2 to here in match 3? Slightly, a little bit.
In terms of reaction? Sure.
In terms of where he's releasing.
He's continuing to move in and chasing the oil line as the lanes dry up. He continues to push left.
How many arrows do you think?
1, maybe 2.
Tops. And another strike.
I mean, he's probably moved about 4 to 5 boards at the arrows and maybe 8 to 10 with his feet since the first match.
Whatever he's doing is working just fine. 5 in a row for O'Neal, the lead at 35. Here's TJ in the 7th.
That's usually what happens when you end up going light on one lane. You overcompensate the next shot to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Tommy Jones, the higher seed in this match, inexplicably has chosen to finish on the left lane, a lane that he has opened once before.
Tommy down 35, closing this one out. What is your approach? What does it have to be here, 8, 9, and 10?
Well, I mean, bowling against Bill, he's definitely going to have to throw a strikeout here to have any chance. So, just going to have to get up here and try to make a good shot on this left lane. I'm a little baffled by it. I really thought the last one over here pretty good, and apparently wasn't quite lined up very well.
What don't you like on that left lane that you're seeing?
You know, it just seems to flutter a little bit down lane, but as soon as you get it there early, it kind of wants to pick up. So it seems to be a little wet dry.
So here is TJ. Last 2 frames, open frame, spare. Here he is to start off the 8. The 8 down 35. How many pins avoided that 7?
Well, that's just a cruddy break right there. And Tommy Jones is looking to try to get in to the head of Bill O'Neill ever so slightly by striking out. He had a possible 224, which would have made Bill O'Neill stay honest. Instead, now the best he can shoot is 214. It's just a bad break.
Bill O'Neill made 5 TV shows last season, winning 2 of them. He won the Chameleon Championship at the World Series of Bowling in early September, and then won the 67th edition of the Lumber Liquidators US Open. That one coming in late February, looking for his first title of the season in his first TV appearance of the season. And he is well on his way to the title match.
And answering your question, remember, he's starting to move in and open up that front part of the lane, which is making his ball reaction pretty sweet, giving him a little bit of left to right.
Time now for our More of What Matters to You fan question, brought to you by the makers of One a Day. Randy, do you think oil patterns become easier or harder with more friction on the lanes? That one coming from Brian in Louisville.
Well, Brian, I think they become easier when there's more friction, unless the friction is in the front part of the lane. We want friction to the outside part of the lane and friction down the lane. Anytime there's friction in the middle part of the lane or up front, the scoring pace is going to be extremely slow. And generally speaking, on our tour, the fresher the oil pattern, the lower the scores are. And as the lanes start to transition, as they start to break down, the players start to see friction. They can then move in, throw to the friction, and open up the oil pattern a bit.
45 pin advantage for O'Neill. Both Jones and O'Neill making their first televised appearance of the season here in the second event of the young season. Seven pin decides to drop that time for TJ. And O'Neill will advance and move on to your title match. And Bill has done it by putting together big fat streaks of strikes through every match he's played today. He had a 5-bagger in match number 1 versus Monacelli. He had 6 in a row to start off the second round match with DeVaney. Here versus O'Neill, strikes in the 3rd through the 8th frame.
Hey, well, nothing better than kicking a man when he's down, eh? That's Tommy Jones, 2 really good shots.
Figured I'd make it. I only shot it 45 times this week. One ball.
And that's all she wrote. There is Mike Moniak, the director of bowling operations here at South Point. We appreciate all his efforts and that of his staff last couple weeks here and here today as well.
Mike Boniak used to bowl on tour way back in the day when I first started. We're not going to say when, and don't smile at me. I know what you're thinking.
Another route for O'Neill.
O'Neill, all he's doing is averaging 240. Shooting 240 every game.
So Team O'Neill moves on to the title match, another convincing victory. And our title match in its entirety when we return, the Colombian Andres Gomez taking on Bill O'Neill.